So one of the biggest questions, or I guess statements, that I tend to get when I talk about meditation is, I can't meditate, my brain won't stop. It's continually thinking and chatter all the time. Well, your brain thinks, that's what it does. So instead of trying to stop it, because when you try to stop your brain from thinking, it's like you going to your significant other and saying, hey, I have something important to tell you, and they reply by saying, no, I don't want to hear it right now, just stop talking, it's time to be quiet. You're not going to respond by going, oh yeah, sure, I'll be quiet for you, thanks for pointing it out that I'm somehow annoying you. You respond more like, no, you're going to listen now. Well, when you go to your brain and you say, listen brain, we're going to do some quiet time now, your brain doesn't see it that way, and your brain goes, nope, you're going to listen, you have all these things you need to pay attention to, and I'm just going to throw them all at you now. So don't try to stop it from thinking, that's okay. Instead, shift the focus. So usually what happens when we think, and this is pretty paraphrased, but you have thought, then a space, and then thought, and then a space, and what we do most of the time as Westerners anyway is try to focus on that little space and make it bigger. And that's in effect mind muscling yourself into some form of quietness. And sure, you could spend hours doing that and you'll sit there and focus and I made it 30 seconds, go me, but that isn't really meditation. That's just sitting there and fighting with yourself, which is creating more resistance to it. Because when the thought comes up and you're like, no, get out of there, like you're just creating more of a tension, which is not the point. So also these thoughts that come along, they don't truly encompass the entirety of the reality of your situation. And one of my favorite sayings is, you're a human being, not a human doing. And you notice this when somebody says, oh, you just had to be there. Nobody ever goes, oh, you should have been there to do the thing with us. I mean, occasionally if you have a task you're trying to do, right? But you want to be there. So let's be here now. So instead of trying to force these spaces, instead of trying to create this thing by forcing your brain to be quiet, instead focus on the feeling of things, because the way things feel encompasses the whole of your experience far more than what you think about it, and we just don't usually notice. So to start with feeling where you're sitting, and you don't have to sit, you can lie down. This is really good to do if you're having trouble sleeping, like when it's 3 in the morning and you're like, go to sleep. And of course it never works. So instead, focus on what you're feeling. So lay there or sit there or whatever you're doing, feel the surface you're on, feel the clothing you're wearing, or feel the blanket, or feel everything. Just feel it and focus on the feel. The air on your face, and the air coming into your lungs, the air going out of your lungs. Focus on the actual sensations that you feel. And your brain will throw stuff out, and you'll blah in your head, and that's okay. Just draw the focus to what you're feeling. Even if it's just feeling the surface you're sitting on. And continue to hold that focus. If it goes elsewhere, it's okay. Don't get into that stop it thing. Just bring it back. And it'll slow things down. And you'll start to feel more and more. You'll realize I'm feeling a lot of things that I hadn't noticed before. And just stay with that. And of course, this is just a basic understanding meditation. No, I'm not talking about all the add-on stuff that you can do with meditation or any kind of religious aspect of it. It's just stay with the feeling, because that will put you more into the current moment than trying to mind muscle yourself in, because even in mind muscling yourself, you're just in your head. You're not in the area, in the space, in your body, in that place. So there you go. Focus in on the feeling, and then just leave it with that. That is all you need, and it's more than enough.